All right, here we go. Number 2. 12 is 3 times 4. Which is 2 times 2. Is that it? Okay, and the 2's, there's a pair of those, so we circle, cancel. What happens with the circle 2? Yes, beautiful. So I have -4 root, and then what's left over? 3. Okay, plus 27 is 9 times 3, which is 3 times 3. Circle, cancel. The 3 comes and multiplies the 2 here, so 6 and 3, beautiful. And then this is 2 and 3. And that means that you can't do anything to it because there's no twins or pairs in there. So it's just -2 root 6. Okay, now you have to think about which one of these two are like terms. The first two, right? So you can combine those. So it's like -4x plus 6x. What's -4 plus 6? 2. So 2 root 3 minus 2 root 6. And you just leave it like that. That's as far as you can go. Okay. Number 4. Multiply the outsides. Multiply the insides. There's a 1 out here that we don't write. So 1 times negative is -1, or just negative. And then 5 times 20 is 100. 100 is 10 times 10. Circle, cancel. -10. You guys probably already knew that the square root of 100 was 10 without doing the circle and cancel. This one is kind of a reminder that sometimes they come out evenly, and that's okay. That's supposed to be a good and satisfying thing when that happens. Do you guys have any questions about the warm-ups? Okay. Now it is time for my amazing agenda, which might be crocodile themed. I don't know. Who knows? It's a mystery. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Today we are doing the exact same thing as Friday, but more of them. So we're doing one variable inequalities, which means that you pretend you have equals, plot it on the number line, open or close, test the point. Most of the time it's going to be 0. Draw your arrow and then write your final answer. And we did notes for this on Friday, but we're doing more of them today. There's also, there's a couple of weird ones. Okay, and here's the homework is 17 to 22. Here's my joke. It says, so how long is this punk rock phase going to last? Do you get it? Like punk rock? It's not punk rock, it's punk rock. You know, like he's dressed like a punk rocker, but it's a punk rock. I really did search crocodile jokes. Yeah, you know. Also, he's adorable. Okay, anyway. All right. We do not need the packet anymore today. Packet can go away. Also, mentally prepare. 9-14 goes all the way to F. But 15 and 16 are quickish. 9-14 goes all the way to F. Which kind? So just mentally prepare. 9-14 is long. 15 and 16 are not too bad. And you'll see once we get to E and F, those are the ones that are kind of weird. Okay, let's start with number 1. Step 1, pretend you have equals. X minus 7 equals -2. So first thing you do always on these problems is just take the inequality out and put an equals in. Add 7. X equals 5. Okay, everybody with me so far? Okay, now I'm going to make a number line with 5 on it. Don't make it too detailed. It doesn't matter. I just put 5 in the middle. And I have to decide if my circle is going to be open or closed depending on the original problem. Open. Clopen? Yep, doesn't have the or equal to on it. Exactly. Okay. Now, I'm going to put 0 on here in the direction that 0 would be on the number line. And I'm going to test 0. Remember, you can test anything you want except 5. Because 5's got the open circle on it already, so it's not going to be able to tell you where the arrow goes. Okay, so up to the original, 0 minus 7 is less than -2. -7 is less than -2. Happy or sad crocodile? Happy. Happy crocodile means that it's a true statement. And so we're going to put a T right at the thing that we tested for true. And then the other side of the open circle will be false. I want my arrow to go toward the true side always. That's where the solutions are. And then I write a final answer, X. And then I copy the end of the arrow is less than 5. Is it coming back to you from Friday? Okay. B. 3m plus 2 equals 8m minus 8. Okay, we have choices here. I like to start with the thing that has a letter on it that's the smallest and undo that. So I'm going to minus 3m. Okay, open or close circle at 2. Closed, beautiful. Okay. 0 would be here-ish. So I put zeros in for m in both of the spots in the original. And this just happens to be 2 is less than or equal to -8. Sad crocodile, right? Very unhappy. Okay, so that means it's false. And so I'm going to put a false at the 0 where I plugged in. That means the other side of my circle has to be true, and my arrow is going to go toward the true side. Okay, and then I'm not going to walk away from the problem. I'm going to write the final answer, which many students forget to do. X is greater than or equal to 2. And I'm writing this based off of this picture. How's it coming? Okay. The only thing that really gets harder about this is like the challenge level of the equation part, not necessarily the inequality part. That difficulty level will stay the same. It's just, can you solve the equation? So 2/3 p minus 2 equals -4. Okay, and this one's kind of a fraction buster, but I'm going to save the fraction busting till the end. I'm going to add 2 first. Okay, then I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. That's kind of the fraction busting, which will get rid of the 3 on the bottom. Doesn't that look better? Divide by 2, divide by 2. P equals -3. Okay, this is an exciting moment because this is the first time that we had a negative answer. I don't even think we had one in all of Fridays. Okay, so we're just gonna have to be a little bit careful here when we make our number line. -3 is gonna go in the middle and it's open, but 0 is now on the right side. You remember how the number line looks. Does that make sense? The negatives, we have to remember this is Lakai, and then the negatives all went that way and the positives went that. Oh, I brought my picture from home with the Lakai hair flower colors. I have these home, your hair is not anymore, but the way it was before, I had these flowers in my backyard that look exactly like your hair. And I thought of them as my Lakai flowers. There they are. Yeah. And I was like, those are my Lakai flowers. And like they're a little bit like gold and like a little bit like pink. And it's like, I'm still gonna call them my Lakai flowers. Anyway, okay. All right, so test 0. So I'm gonna put it into this one, 2/3 times 0. That's kind of gross, but luckily it's 0. Minus 2 is greater than -4. -2 is greater than -4. Yes. -2 is bigger than -4. Happy crocodile. Got to be careful with the negatives. Okay, so I'm going to come up here and put a true at 0 because that's what I plugged in and I got true. And so my arrow is going to go toward that true. You can put a false on the other side if you want to keep your diagram going consistent. Okay, and then final answer. It's P. Oh gosh, the previous one was M. Holy moly. Beep, 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 beep. This is the garbage truck backing up, you know? You ever have the garbage truck back up in your street and makes that sound? Okay. Beep, 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 beep. P. Okay. End of the arrow. -3. There we go. All fixed thanks to whiteout. Okay. D. Is anyone willing to guess what the number one mistake students will make in this problem right at the beginning is? Yeah, their children will do 2 minus 3. That's not proper order of operations. So just put the little thing in there before we even start. So we have 2. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. Make sure you get that positive 3. A tiny piece of white out on the tip of my pen and it's driving me nuts. Okay, anyway, then we're going to add the 2 and the 3 together to make 5 minus 3x equals x minus 7. Okay, again, we have choices. I like to undo the smaller x thing, which is negative 3x. I'm going to add 3x. I'm also wondering how long the light of CPM is going to let us can keep having whole number answers because I really like it, but you know it's not forever. Okay, now where would 0 be? Like over here, correct? Open or closed for this one? Closed. Okay, so I put 0 in there and there. Okay, so this is going to be 2 minus 3 times negative 1, which is 2 plus 3. Feel free to go to the calculator for that. That's fine. I'm not uptight about that. Happy crop? Yeah. What letter is X this time? X is less than or equal to 3. Okay. When you get done with that, just put your pencil down and pause and relax for a second. I want to show you something very important. Okay. Do you notice that in A, the original symbol is less than and the end symbol is less than? In B, the original symbol is less than or equal to, the end symbol is greater than or equal to. Greater than, greater than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. What I'm telling you is you can't just assume that the end answer is going to be the same as the start inequality. That's the whole reason we do the test. I promise you, if the test wasn't necessary, I wouldn't teach you that. If you could just solve this problem and throw this thing in at the end, that would be great. But it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. The test is necessary. You can't just assume that because I have greater than here, I'm going to have greater than here. This one it did. This one it didn't. So you have to be careful. You actually have to do the whole thing. Can you imagine how easy my job would be if I was just like, oh, just pretend it's equals and then throw the same inequality back in? That would be awesome. We'd be done with this unit already. Okay, now we're getting to E and F. These two are weird ones. So weird stuff's gonna happen. Okay. So if I add these two things, these two like terms together, this should give me 9k minus 3 is less than or equal to, and then I have these like terms. Oh, snap. Mrs. Talbot, there's some kind of craziness happening here. Okay, when is this true? When is something less than or equal to itself? When is 5 less than or equal to 5? Always. All right, because of the or equal to, this is and it's infinite solutions because that statement is true all the time. Something is always less than or equal to itself because the or equal to qualifies. Okay, now this one. When is this one true? Never. Because you can't have a number less than itself. 5 can never be less than 5. It works on this one because the or equal to is on there. It doesn't work on this one. This one's always false. And so no solution. Oh, look how quick they are. I know. And I'm not going to come back in like math 3 and be like, just kidding, there was a solution and blah, blah, blah. It was this. And I was lying to you the whole time. By the way, I'm completely lying to you about the negatives under the square root. Those you can actually do. And you'll do them next year in math 2. I'm a jerk. Awesome. Hopefully my flowers will be huge by then. Okay. We're finally done with number 14. Okay. Here's the setup for number 15, and I realize that it's weird, but just go with it. This, by the way, says Kiribati. It's a country. Kiribati. Learning a little geography from CPM today. Yeah. Africa. Kiribati. Kiribati. And I don't think it's your eyesight. I think it's poor writing on Mrs. Talbot's part. But we're going to read a poem that's going to have the word Kiribati in print, which will help. I don't know what happened here. Was I in a rush? All righty. At the end of this chapter, your team will, no, we're not reading that. Okay. Write and solve an equation that represents the problem below. Be sure to define any variables you use. There are a total of 193 member states, countries in the United Nations as of 2014. The member states are divided into regional groups. Okay, so for the first thing you have is it said a total of 193. So put the equals, and then put 193 in the total spot. Okay. The member states are divided into regional groups. The Asia group has one less member than the Africa group. The European groups are smaller. Eastern European has 4 less than half of Africa group. The Western Europe group, which includes the United States, has 6 more than Eastern Europe. The Latin America group has 21 less than the Africa group. One country, Kiribati, there it is, in the Central Pacific Ocean is in no regional group at all. How many countries are in each of the 5 groups? Okay, which one of those do you know nothing about? No. I love you all. No. Kiribati is easy. That's one. It doesn't belong in any of the regional groups, so it's just one country. Okay, otherwise, which one do you know nothing about? Okay, so we know something about the Asia group. We know something about the Eastern Europe group. We know something about the Western Europe group. We know something about the Latin America group. We know something about Kiribati. Africa. Okay, Africa is the one that we know nothing about. So we're going to call Africa A. That's going to be the variable. They told us nothing about Africa, so that's going to be our variable. We're going to call it capital A for Africa, even though there's Asia, we're just going to ignore that. Okay. All right, so now our job is, this is actually a really great skill, is to translate this stuff into algebra. First, the Asia group has 1 less member than Africa. What is that in algebra? A minus 1. Beautiful. Okay, we're doing awesome. The European groups are smaller. Eastern Europe has 4 less than half of the Africa group. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna call it a little bit different than that. I'm gonna call it 1/2 A minus 4. Your A divided by 2 still works, but I'm just gonna call it this. Plus. What's wrong, honey? Right in the middle of class? Right now? In the middle of Kiribati? Are you gonna walk to Kiribati to go? Or are you gonna be back super fast? Okay. So you're not gonna walk all the way to Kiribati? Okay. I just really wanted to say Kiribati again. Yeah. Okay. The Western European group, which includes the United States, has 6 more than Eastern Europe. Ooh, now we have to do work. So it's 6 more than this one. So what would that be? 1/2 A. This is plus, it's going to be plus 6 plus 2. Yeah. Plus. All right, we have one more to figure out. The Latin America group has 21 less than the Africa group. A minus 21. Okay. Plus 1 equals 193. All right, so come down here. A plus A minus 1 plus 1/2 A minus 4 plus 1/2 A plus 2 plus A minus 21 plus 1 equals 193. Okay, I'm going to get a different color pen. I'm going to get a red pen, and I'm going to underline all the things with A. So this. Okay, how many total A's are there? 4. 4A. Okay, now I'm gonna come along with a teal, which is my favorite color, pen, and underline the numbers. And what? Okay, so let's work this out. -1 plus -4 is -5. -5 plus 2 is -3. -3 plus 21, no. -3 minus 21 is -24. -23, okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back with my red pen and I'm gonna figure out how many each one has. So Africa has 54. Asia has 53. Does that make sense? Okay, what's half of 54? 27. What's 27 minus 4? 23. What's 27 plus 2? 29. Jameson is on fire today. What's 54 minus 21? 33. And Kiribati, we know, is 1. And hopefully that adds up to 193. We're just going to assume that we're correct because it all came out kind of nice-ish. All right, you guys, we have one more problem. And this problem is going to combine the two previous problems. It's a word problem that we have to translate, but it's an inequality. Ooh. Okay, it's going to take like 3 or 4 lines. It's not long, I promise. Okay, here we go. In 1912, Japan gave the United States several thousand flowering cherry trees as a symbol of friendship. Similarly, the nation of Cameroon plans to give flowering sacha trees to other countries this year. When asked how to decide which sacha trees make good gifts, Cameroon's chief arborist explained, "My goodness, okay. We plant sacha trees when they are 6 centimeters tall, and they grow 9 centimeters every year. The trees only flower when they are taller than 150. Okay. Which one of those numbers is the starting height? 6. And which one of them is the growth? 9. Okay. So we're going to go 6 plus 9x. So this is starting at 6, growing 9 each year. And what's the rest of it say? They only flower when they're taller than. What symbol is taller than? Yeah, but which one is that? Greater than 150 centimeters. I need to get my poster up with my crocodile on it so you can tell which one is greater than. This is my fault. Okay, I want you to, in your groups, I think this might come out to a decimal, by the way, don't freak out. Solve it by yourself. So remember, first step, pretend it's equals. I'll write the first step. So you're gonna solve it, number line, test, final answer. It's a decimal. I believe. Is it not a decimal? It's not? Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, I know one of them coming up is a decimal. I couldn't remember. Did you get 16? Okay, okay. There is one, I promise you, coming up that's a decimal. Are we matching so far? Did you get falso? X is greater than 16? Okay, that's it. You did it.